If I were a painting captured on canvas, alone in the portrait I'd stand, and brushstrokes bold, yet soft as a whisper, the work of a feminine hand. Caught in the still life, surrounded by shadows, or lost in a background of blue. If I were a painting, my price would be pain, and the artist would have to be you. I imagine the colors would all run together if you ever allowed me to cry. So don't paint the tears, just let me remember me without you in my eyes. It's only the frame that holds me together, or else I'd be falling apart. If I were a painting, I wouldn't feel, and you wouldn't be breaking my heart.
Bang! Oh, that's amazing. That is wow, holy Lord, right? Okay, so that is a waltz right there. You know what I mean? Could you feel that? You know what I mean? It's an old video. It's coming through me through like a fifth party, right? And you could connect to that, right? It was amazing. And they are a powerhouse couple. You know what I mean? They're Italian. You get that feel, Italian love. And I was always inspired by these two, particularly when I was a very, very young amateur and I was trying to make my own ideas of dancing, trying to figure out what the hell is happening. And I always remember, I mean, first of all, props to the pants. Those pants are velvet pants. Fantastic choice, right? And of course, a beautiful blue dress. And ladies, like that's a fantastic dress, right? It's a nice dress. It's simple. It's elegant. It dances beautifully. That's all you need. It's something simple, right? But they are so powerful. I remember doing lessons in England, and I would say, like, how do they move like that? Like, especially in tango, low center of gravity was what I was told. Low center of gravity, very strong. They could do different types of choreography, to me being very tall. I was like, I didn't even think about choreography like that. Now let's get into some ideas here that will really help you, that you can take away. And remember, like there are different stages, right? So you've got beginner, advanced beginner, sort of maybe novice, but advanced dancing. And then of course you've got expert level and then mastery, right? Typically is the levels of dance. So primarily my audience is beginner to advanced beginner. And then of course, advanced dancers are in here too. And then just some experts who watch the channel. So there is so much in this, but one of the wonderful, amazing things about this couple, she is a phenomenal follower, right? She is so good at responding to his lead, just even something like that, where her head weight, like the way it works back. Now that's advanced work, right? Anything to do with the way her head moves back in response to his lead, and he follows her back with his right hand. You know, all those sorts of actions here where you watch the head here, for example, warm, see that? That's advanced dancing, right? So what we can look at though for everyone to improve upon is the use of the feet. The balance as a couple is strikingly good. And I think what makes dancing so pretty, right? Like pretty being a very masculine word, right? That's what we're aiming for. But if you watch the way these feet, especially in the beginning, like with these like whisks and whatnot, try to get the spot. But you see lots of points they hover, yeah, like there, right up on the toes. That's what I want you to do. I want you to go into the studio, and I want you, when you go on your toes, like you do a chasse in the waltz, okay, chasse from promenade, go right on your toes and hold that. Okay, that's the step one, is to see right here, warm. Okay, so it's a change. Boom, boom, boom. That's nice. See, she follows that so well. Obviously. Spin. Right. So the way they extend their feet and create a lot of bounce is something I always stuck to and looked at it and went, oh, okay, I didn't realize you could use your feet so much in waltz. And then have a look at the posture, right? So the way that the body itself is being held in relation to the feet. I think that's something that's often exaggerated these days, but if you have a look here, there's like no exaggeration, right? The body is straight and of course, trim, taut, and terrific. See there, right? Okay, so they're in promenade, yeah. Okay, so beautiful shape, beautiful feet, good positions of the head and body. Amazing, right? Warm. Yeah. So you can see that spine, the spine is so beautiful, like its position and his head. You can't see my mouse, but that's the thing that you take away from this. You watch it and you go, okay, what can I do? You can definitely increase your postural position. That's something you can work on for sure. And the way that you extend your feet, okay? And the way you sort of work and roll through your feet, but going up onto the toes and holding as long as you can with a beautiful posture and poise is always going to hold you well in the waltz, no matter what level you are, okay? Now, if you're a bit more versed in the waltz, so even that double reverse spin right here, this is something, I love this step. I'm like obsessed with the double reverse spin. And all my students know, it's like, God damn it, he's making me do one of those again. I love this step. So here, double reverse spin, boom. Like nice, yeah, different speed. You can see what I mean by the feet, yeah? Now, if you're a bit more advanced, what you can focus on here, particularly when you're shaping the lady into like a lunge, or hinge, or any of those sort of line figures, is your hips actually are the thing that you help the lady to shape through. But yeah, it's too hard to explain that here. Love that. A telespin, by the way, is this thing here. I'll show you. It's coming up. So this is a telespin, right? All advanced dancers use these figures. The telespin is awesome but difficult. Here it comes. Boom, there. Now, this step is difficult because you're simultaneously turning on your left, the ball, then the heel of both feet. It's called a heel pivot, right? And all advanced dancers should do this. Now, if you are an advanced dancer and you have never done telespins or teleswivels, you should go to your coach and say, teach me that. Because it's a beautiful step to do, especially after like a full away reverse pivot. It makes your dancing very, very exciting. Watch it again. You'll see the delay. I'll give you a little tip for those who do a telespin. I'll give you an idea of what you can do to fix that, even though you're just watching it. Or not fix it, but make it a little bit better. Okay. Watch how delayed the body is here. Woof, woof. See how she danced and he followed in that regard? When you do a telespin, which again is a very advanced figure, what you want to be aware of is that your body and your feet are diagonal to wall against the line of dance. That's the alignment. Then you turn through like the ball of your left foot, the heel of your left foot, and then the ball of your right foot, and the heel of your right foot. That sort of idea. Anyway, so as you're doing that turn, right, you're allowing the lady to come around you, then you follow her. And the big mistake is a lot of people get into that position and they are turning before the lady, and then they end up bashing. So have you ever felt like your body's hitting each other? It's often because someone's turning at the wrong time correctly. So if you do that step, just have a little play with who's turning first, right? I often say, I go, or you go, then I go. So I'll give you an example here. Ready? And so here, you go, then I go. All right. That gives you an idea of how turns work. Okay. Or rotations, strong rotations. Anyway, so these pivots are boss. Like she is so soft. Like her back and her arm lines, amazing. See, I prefer this type of dancing honestly than a lot of the modern developments. And I don't mind like improvements and stuff like that, but this is amazing dancing, truly. Yeah, see, there's like up on those feet again. That's hard to do. All right, so that is what I'm going to get all of y'all to do. I'm going to get you to go and do that. Okay, it's your turn to do that. So borrow something from the feet, use something from the posture. Of course, the frame is elegant, and the best tip I can give you with the frame is what I learned from my coach, who learned from Alex Moore for like 10 years and learned how to teach from him. She would always say, hold your frame like a tray of the finest champagne. Okay, so you can't spill a drop. And so everything's very level, everything's very balanced. You can't let any of that champagne fall out, all right? And then for those who are a bit more advanced, okay, you can work on your, of course, lead and follow, but you'll see there's no rigidity in their movement, right, in their arms. Very loose, or relaxed, I should say. Tension-free, better word. Anyway, that has been awesome to watch. Do you guys think we should do one more video? I have one more lined up. I think I should, just because I'm feeling waltzy today, and I won't be here next week. So should we do one more? Let me know. Right down below. We'll let this play a little bit longer. Yep. Yeah, cool. Yeah, let's do one more. It's another waltz, and it's by I love this guy, Luca Baricchi and Loraine. Let's do that. Okay, cool. Here we go. So normally I'm not a big fan of like entries. Okay, I get them. I understand, but often entries bother me because they don't make sense. These two, I mean, always have such a lovely way of dancing. First of all, their music choice is probably the best that I've seen in ballroom dancing. Like typically, they have some really lovely choices of waltzes and foxtrots, and sometimes very unique songs. Right, and I'll bring them up in the future. It makes it like if music was, what's the saying, that dancing is music made visible? That is what it's talking about, right? You can see like the ebbs and flows of the way they rise and fall, and the beauty. It's ineffable, right? So you can't really break it down. So it's just poetry in motion, yeah. It's truly it's brilliant. Um, and that's the thing, is like Italian as well, right? So you got William, one Italian, this one. These guys represented like a whole different era in dancing in the early, so 2000, 2001, I think this video was shot. You can see the difference. English champions pre-90s, right? So Blackpool winners were always English, and then you had the Italians coming through, and they just have a different vibe, a different feel, using the same sort of technique, so to speak. And you can see how different they are, right? Their styles, and that's what's really great about technique. Is when you learn to dance, you take the technique, and then you give yourself a license to create your own style and way of doing things. But there's a throwaway oversway, and you find that everyone does a throwaway oversway, but they all have a different vibe. But the way this dude is just like so smooth, and the choreography too. Like I would, obviously it's all advanced dancing, but like it's really, a lot of this choreography could be considered quite basic in a way. Like, but the way they dance it is so high level, right? And that's one of the things about choreography that I stress to students is, don't worry about the complexity of your choreography if you can't execute. It's better to do your basic movements like a champion than to try to dance like a champion but poorly, right? You need to really understand how to hover, right? How to shape, how to use your timing, how to use your feet correctly, right? And do things that are within your sort of capacity and your skill set. And then as you get better, you get access to more things. That doesn't mean you use it, right? You can see here, they've got like open natural turns, right? Like, it's so hard to make it look that good. That's the crazy thing, yeah? And so here, I think they just do, where's his chasse? He did one before. It was really beautiful to watch. Here. Yeah. See? Chasse. Boom. But what I was saying before about holding your weight a little bit longer, right? Things like this is really difficult to do, right? So you just, beautiful. Beautiful swing. Fantastic connection. Yeah. So here, 1, 2, and, right? C, vertical. Head, erect. Right? Feet, poof, tightly together. Body falls. Now, I'll bring something here for the advanced dancers to understand. Okay? So watch this position. Watch what happens with the foot as it comes through on this next step. Okay, so, do I have my little pen? I used to have a pen I could draw on. Okay, so have a look at where her left foot is, right? Where his right foot is. So this is what so this is something for people who want to understand, how do you create better movement in dancing? What happens is you want your foot to be ahead of your body, and then you want your body to be catching up to your foot. So it's this idea of foot speed, body speed. And when you learn to dance as a beginner, what often happens is your head and your body and your foot move at the same time. So if you move forward on your left foot, it all happens in one go, and then there's nothing left. And then maybe you move your right foot to the side, and then you land at the same time. And then your feet close, and you struggle to change feet, right? So, but as you become better in your dancing, and the way you become better is you actually focus on letting your leg go well ahead of the body. Your feet hit the beat. So that's beat 1, for example, on the next step. But look at where her spine is in relation to the foot. And so what ends up happening is you got your foot being, say, here, and then your spine warm. And then you use your footwork, beautiful footwork, of course, like toe, ball, heel, and the moving leg to close beautifully as well, to help you control, I suppose, your body weight. And what this means is, especially if you're more advanced, is that you get a what's the word? You get like a beautiful flow in your movement. So I'll come back to the chasse again. I'll show you what I mean. You'll see it if you would just watch the feet. Like sometimes I get students to like get the hand and like block the upper body and just literally watch the feet because it's too distracting when you're watching the dress, for example. But have a look at the feet going ahead of the body when movement occurs. So even in that position, right ahead of the body, have a look at where the belly button would be, right? Okay, we're talking, okay, yeah, so here, all right, see the idea? So you see the foot ahead of the body, right? So there's your footwork, heel, toe, but look where the body weight is. And that's what is allowing the momentum and like what we call acceleration to occur. And then that creates a lift or a flight. And that's what waltz is known for, is flight. And same for foxtrot, for example. But the way you achieve that is by letting your foot go ahead of the body, and you go as long as your leg is the maximum sort of range that you can step. So if you ever want to know how big do you step in dancing, it's the length of your leg. And so any bigger than that, and your center of gravity can't get over the foot, and you slip around like a crazy person. So, all right, so that happens on the first step, driving forward, for example. Yeah. And then you rise up. Same idea coming out of it. Boom, boom, boom. So that's something you can definitely take away, especially if you're a bit more advanced or you want to become a better dancer. That's going to help a lot if you can understand how to move your foot ahead of the body and then let your body sort of roll over it. But trust me, if you don't have good footwork, you are going to struggle with understanding what I just talked about. Now, in Ballroom Mastery Academy Next Level, I teach that in depth. There's like 300 videos that break down how to move like that, but stair-stepping you up to that, because there's certain things you need to be able to do before you can even bother trying to do that. But that will be something that you can aim to achieve in the studio on your own. You can aim to think, okay, Vaughan, I'll go in and I will try to move the way you're saying. My foot will go ahead of the body. I won't go too big, and then I'll rise through that, and off we go. And you'll find when you go into the toes, you have a slightly different problem, but then you got to lower correctly as well, right? You have to lower at the same way. And I'll just give one further tip to everyone to help you tonight. That is making sure that you master your ballroom dancing walk, right? Going forward and backward, because these movements here, so let's go back to that chasse, right? Sort of up, where were they? This side of the floor. Just back here, wasn't it? Yeah, one. Oh, I might have lost it. But we'll let it come up in a second. But the idea being is that with things like the chasse, I forgot what I was saying. But the was it footwork? Oh yeah, sorry. Most of your movements, right, going backward and forward, particularly on your first steps, are literally the ballroom walk, right? So if you don't know how to actually transfer weight properly and roll through your feet, check out my YouTube channel where I actually break that down, how to actually walk backwards properly. That'll help you out if you don't have access to any of my actual online programs, okay? Now, it's been wonderful having you here. Hope you enjoyed the show tonight. Thank you for being here. And yeah, thank you, Jody. Yeah, it was magical. You're right. It was beautiful too. You are correct. Now, let's enjoy it a little bit more, and then let's go. Where are we? Listen, thank you, everyone. Awesome to have you here. Check out ballroommastery.tv for all the cool things, but it's been wonderful to share these dancers with you, these amazing dancers with you, and to give you a little bit of insight on some of the things that you can do, provided that you do the work and that you believe that you can. All right. Listen, thank you, everyone. I'll see you when I come back from LA.